Greetings, salutations, welcome once again, Bavsound Stage One speaker upgrade package. This particular car is an F25 X3, so it's a model year from 2009 through 16. I think the 17s, we're gonna start seeing the new ones, but this is gonna cover a wide variety of X3s, from those of you overseas with the bass audio cars, whereby there will be no tweeter here, to those of you with the Harman Kardon system, whereby there will be multiple speakers around the car, from the A pillars to the B pillars. So we're covering the install process here today. We're going to start with this passenger front door. And the passenger front door is identical to the rear doors on both sides. And there's a slight variance with the front, which we'll cover. So let's get started. More information, you want to learn more about the Stage One, about the Ghost Underseat subwoofers, bavsound.com. We do the social media, you know, we tweet and such. I don't know, we don't do that, but you know. You can find us on the social media, we do it. We're learning. Let's get started, super straightforward. Your Bavsound toolkit. Everything you need for this job is in the toolkit. Available again, bavsound.com. Got a lot of different promos out there. Usually if you're buying the Stage One and or the Ghost woofers, we can figure out a way to get this to you at no charge. This contains every tool. I've been doing this 20 plus years. This is every tool you would ever need, not only for your X3, but for every other BMW you might have. And with these panel removal tools, you can do stuff around the house, pry off outlets, change whatever, man. This thing's infinitely valuable. Leave it in the house, leave it in the garage, you'll use it all the time. What we're gonna need for this job, we need our plastic panel removal tool, and then we're gonna need a few different Torx bits, which we have covered right here, T10 through T30. We're gonna need our bit driver, which holds the bit. We're gonna need our angle pick. And ultimately, we will need this right angle driver for the dashboard. So, put the kit away beyond that, and we're gonna start with our plastic panel removal tool. It's pretty good job here they've done of hiding the screws. So we've got one back behind this tweeter grill. We have two behind the pull on the passenger front door and both rear doors. And then we have two screws on each of the front doors, and each of the rear doors, there's just one screw. So let's get started. So plastic panel removal tool. You can actually see there are little divots up here where the tweeter panel attaches. You can just kind of get your plastic tool up in there, like so. It's gonna be tight, that's good. That's what we want. Believe me, if this just popped right out of here effortlessly, the car would be prone to rattling and all sorts of things. So, we just pop it loose, like so. Pop it out, and simply unplug the lock switch, like so. That reveals the factory tweeter, and it reveals our first Torx T20 right here. So again, with our bit, our Torx T20, we just hop in there, and we remove it. If you find any aspect, so if you've gotten this far, and or quite frankly, you started here and you're like, I don't know if this is for me, stop and head over to bavsound.com and find your nearest dealer and have them take care of this for you. With the T20 removed, we're gonna come down to the pull handle, which I had said earlier, it's the same on the passenger front door and both rear doors. There's a variance on the driver door, which we'll cover. It's super straightforward, but nevertheless, we've got to get this cover off. Again, our friend, the plastic panel removal tool. Those background noises you're hearing is a semi-truck that drives by our facility about 600 times per day and tests his air brakes, for some reason, on a perfectly flat surface, 7,000 times per day. My God. Okay, so let's get this off. Plastic tool, start at the top. I was just kind of come up here, pry a little bit, just to kind of like get things free. But ultimately, it's gonna come free easiest from the bottom back here. So coming up under, like so. And again, it's gonna be tight at first, which is good. We want it that way. And what's actually really cool here is this is super tight. So it's kind of good you're seeing it. Sometimes these come right off and other times they don't. But this one is not coming right, right off, so it's great that you're boy, there's just a seam between this cover and the Well, I swallowed wrong about 10 minutes ago and I'm still struggling. This is fantastic. I apologize for this, guys. It's a combination of, I haven't really learned how to drink water yet. It's still seemingly going into my esophagus. All right. So, this panel, so you can see we come off and then out. So you see this little hook here, and it's just a couple little clips. So we're just popping off and out. So it's really, and then they all snap right back on, like so. So it's super straightforward. No shenanigans, super easy to rock. So with that out of the way, that exposes a couple more Torx T20s, one up top, as I had mentioned, and one down here. And then I could look in there, I guess, but I'm just going by feel, and I'm not doing a great job. I promise you it's in there. Oh, here he comes. Gonna do some burnouts now, like he likes to do burnouts out there. It's also 170 degrees here in San Diego today. All right, so 1, 2, 3 removed. There's 4 and 5 down below on either side of the light. And again, on the front doors, there are 2 of these Torx T20s, and on each rear door, there's only 1. And as I had touched on earlier, that is the only variance on the rear doors, is that there is 1 screw on the bottom versus 2. The rest of the process is identical from installation to removal. So we're actually not even going to film that. I'm just telling you that they're identical to the rear doors. So you watch the front door, you understand the rear. It's super easy. Honestly, if it was 70 degrees today instead of 180, I might film those rear doors, but there's really no, I'm just exactly the same. And we'll show you, not only can you take my word for it, but you can go have a look yourself. And again, I'm turning left. It's called lefty-loosey. And if that's a foreign concept to you, again, if you've gotten this far, let's stop and we'll go visit bavsound.com/dealers, and they'll get you squared away. I just can't look down here right now because I would block the camera, so it really isn't hard to remove this screw. I promise you guys, it's just the screw. Hey, look at that, I did it. All right, so 5 screws out. The door panel is ready to come off. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to take a quick pause. We're going to cover the driver's door, and we're going to come right back here and get all the rest of the doors off. All right, guys, so driver's door, as I had discussed, identical in every way except for this one little caveat, which we'll cover now. Don't even need a tool. This little plastic piece right here, all we do, get your fingers behind it, lift up, and that's going to reveal a couple of Torx T20s. So in lieu of the pull handle and the 1 screw there and the 1 screw here, we've just got 2 right back here, along with the 1 behind the tweeter grill and the 2 on the bottom. So how did I do that? I just lift it up, and as you can see, there are 2 little hooks there. So all I did was I just lift up, and to put it back in, you couldn't, that's it. And that's how you do it. So that's the variance. We're gonna go back to the passenger door, cover that process, which will then cover all 4 doors from there. All right, guys, so again, we've addressed the front door as well, so the panels are all gonna come off exactly the same on all 4 doors, barring that 1 little variance. So how do we do that? Plastic panel removal tool. Again, do not use the metal tool on these doors. We don't need it. We start up top here. I always like to start up here and kind of get that first little tab free up here on the top, like that. And you heard that just kind of pop, and then I just like to run my fingers. This is plastic, so it can be kind of sharp. So I've been doing this for 20 years, so I'm kind of familiar with it. Just be conscientious of that. It's just plastic, so. Okay, so we've got the whole panel loose at this point, and now the top, once I've got that done, I just come off with the top. Just firmly, just kind of pull towards you, lift up over the lock, like so. Got a couple little things back here to address. First and foremost being the lock. So you can come up here, it just pops. Let me show you that again. So watch my hand just pop up. It'll pop out like that. Boy, they did a number on this, didn't they? All right, so get that out of the way. Now we can work with the front of the car, which The good news is there are 75 miles of harnesses running back here in this door panel. And the way that we're going to deal with that is with our metal panel removal tool. So again, we're holding the door. It's pretty straightforward. And then we just start undoing these harnesses. So we need them out of the way because we need the door off. And every now and then there's going to be a little plastic piece that we need to pry out of the door. And that's what our metal tool is for. We unplug the windows, like so. And just unplug the tweeter, just follow some things. Unplug the tweeter from the mid-range. Unplug all of these guys. Here's where you want to be super careful. I'll show you this. It's the only thing you really need to take note of back here because we're just unplugging some very simple things. This is this weird little, it's the little ambient lighting for the car. So we just take this little plug and come up. Be very conscientious with this. The black piece separates from the clear piece. So it just comes out like that. You want all this free. And then you just unhook everything. Yeah, they did a really cool job with this actually. They did a great job. I didn't unplug that. Weird. Maybe it doesn't have that lower ambient lighting, or I just completely missed the... Oh, it came off itself. Okay. Same thing down here. Just unplug the light, and now the door panel is loose. What I recommend doing is this. I like to get all 4 doors off the car and on my workspace, so I can do all of the work at one time on the workspace with my tweeters. So I'd install all 4 tweeters at one time, and I would go back around and reinstall the door panel starting here and working our way around. So with that off, we'll address that in a moment. We're going to go over the mid-range removal, which, as you guessed it, there's your mid-range. And so it's a really straightforward process. First and foremost, we'll unplug the factory connector like so. Then using our Torx T20, we will simply remove 3 screws. And we will then put those to the side. We will reuse them when we attach the new Bavsound driver. And allow me to show you the differences in the drivers. So here's the factory. Paper cone, just traditional inexpensive speaker design. Again, here's ours with our curvilinear fiberglass woven cone with our inverted surround to maximize our mid-range dispersion. We've got our neodymium motor structure on the back, custom machined aluminum caps. Just a beautiful driver by every metric. And of course, it's far superior acoustically, so that's just a quick visual. Now, how do we install our driver? Easy. 2 things. Number 1, I don't have it here because we are on borrowed time with this particular car. We've got several videos where we go over the sound deadening process, and this car is a prime candidate for sound deadening because there's so much metal space back here. And so we've got other videos to cover it. In fact, you know, I feel like we should just go ahead and do it while the car's here. So we're gonna pause, we're gonna grab our sound deadening, and I'm gonna go over the process in this front door with you. And that process will be repeated on each of the 4 doors. So let's pause it, we're gonna come back, we're gonna knock out some sound deadening and really further enhance our mid-bass performance of our front sound stage. Coming back to the sound deadening, I cut out an 8-inch wide piece by the length of the roll, which is 11.5 inches. So you can see I heated it up with a heat gun, got it kind of tacky, I applied it down, and then I used my panel removal tool to fit the contours of the door. We're gonna knock out the hole where the midwoofer mounts. We're just getting it all nice and tacky through here. Fit all these beautiful molds and contours of our door. And now, like a block of wood it's mounted to, which is exactly what we want. And so that being said, we had covered up a couple of holes where we mount the panel. So there's one, you can see it's right here. And so what we do to kind of come, we want to just go into the center of it. That way when we reattach the panel, we've got the hole. It's real easy for the factory screw to go back in. And there's another one, let's see. I feel like it's somewhere around here. I think that's it. Yeah, I feel it right there. Huh? Stay off a little bit maybe. Somewhere around here. Seems like that's it. You know, we just want, there it is. I want to just get that hole out. And again, that's where the other screw goes through for the pull handle, and that's where the tweeter hole goes. So, super straightforward. Now, same thing with the speaker itself. There are 3 mounting holes for the speaker. So there's one right here. So we would just go, well, let's see. There's one up here. So it's right here in the middle of this. Finding it somewhere. This stuff is so good. It's hard to see it. Let's see, we'll come back to that one. We'll come over here, find this one, it's right there. Don't poke your finger like I'm about to do. Right there, well, hell, somewhere right around here, so you just want to find that and then poke through. In the interest of time and the fact that it's 400 degrees here, we're not going to continue on with that, you're just going to do it. There we go, there's one right there. 2 is up here somewhere. This is kind of silly watching me do this. There's 1, 2, 3 holes. So basically poke out all the holes. Super straightforward. And then the last little bit, and you need a blade to do it. I left my blade over here, so we're gonna let Jeremy kind of center in on that, maybe take a quick little look. You guys kind of zoom in, think about it. And again, this process is the same across all 4 doors. And then we come in, and again with our window up, we come in with our blade, and we just cut around that edge. It's an old trick, and we got a perfect hole now, which our speaker will mount. And this piece is not lost. I'd cut it up a little bit. This piece is absolutely not lost. What I like to do is get around back behind the door here and put it on the outside of the door. Again, to just further insulate and isolate any road noise that could come into the cabin. Every little bit helps. So deadening this panel. So it's funny, you can put this piece on out here, go knock on the outside of this door in that location, and it'll be like thud, 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 and then go knock on the rear door and you'll hear just like a clank, 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 clank. So adding that mass really does help to the overall performance of our midwoofers. So again, now we got this. Kind of see that tucked in back there. So again, don't waste it, you know. We'll do that same process on all 4 doors, and then at this point, well, we might as well just go ahead and show you. We're in here. So you can see where this harness comes out of the door. We're gonna take the wires on the back of our mid-range and pull them right up through here. Super straightforward. We do that as follows. So first thing we do, we take our ring, which was on the front of your mid-range driver, and then we run the wires through it for the back. And then each mid came also with a foam ring, which we apply to the front of the driver. So it's just pull out the little middle piece, use the ring, done and done. So here, and I have, these are prototypes, so I have run these very short, run through here. These are actually not even long enough because I was just testing these. We run these through here, and then we run them up. You just peel back right here. It's just some adhesive stuff. You can see BMW just used some super basic adhesive stuff like that. And then we simply route our wires through like that. And then we tuck the wires along the bottom side of the speaker. And then we just mount the speaker to the door like so, making sure to keep this ring nice and centered. And then bam, we mount our new driver like so. So really straightforward, super easy process. So, and then we, of course, we plug in the connector to, we plug in the black connector to our tweeter, the blue connector to the factory speaker connector, and it's that straightforward. So that is really it. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna pull this woofer out, because we're actually under a super time constraint here, and we're gonna put everything back in. But I wanna show you that process. It's exactly the same across all 4 doors. And then we're gonna tackle the tweeter installation, and then we'll cover plugging it back in, which is pretty self-explanatory, and that's it. It couldn't be more straightforward. All 4 doors, if you do it the way we walk you through it, maybe an hour, all 4 doors. So it's super, and that's 8 speakers. Plus then the center channel is another 10. So hell of an upgrade in about an hour and a half on a bad day. So let's pause it here. We're gonna kind of get this back together, get the tweeters handled, and rock and roll. All right, so guys, we are on our bench. Conceivably, we have all 4 doors off, and we're doing them one by one. I think you should do it that way. It's just more efficient. It feels more rewarding that way too. Sounds silly. So each door, we've got one of our beautiful machined aluminum housing tweeters, 25mm silk dome. We've connected our capacitor harness, which is what bridges the gap between the tweeter and the mid-range when we plug it back in. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and connect all that. So we've got it waiting in our hands, just like this factory tweeter wire here. Now, factory tweeter is held in by 1, 2, 3 little clips, but it really just pops out very easy like that, as you can see. Look at this little. It's just adios, flat, anemic, high frequencies. Hello, sweet, sweet, beautiful highs. Now, our tweeter, keyed exactly like the factory. It's tight by design, snaps right in, will never ever move. And again, we want to follow just like the factory connectors. Get this in there like that. Just a nice little way to keep everything nice and out of the way, and then this will plug in over here on the side, no worries. So that keeps everything out of the way. Maybe even come like this. It's kind of cool too. So everything's out of the way. And at this point, when we take our door panel back on, we just reconnect the plugs the way we did it and rock and roll. So nothing's complex. We're going to cover that process, but you could stop watching here if you wanted, or you could keep watching, but this is the gist of the project. Super straightforward. So reconnecting this harness, might as well give you a little refresher. Kind of insane that they did it this way, but hey, let's put it back together. So again, these go up, these go down. First thing we want to do, this one obviously ran. This one comes up and connects to this funky little light up here. Can you recall? Snaps in like so, and then you just kind of have to like, it's got these little hooks to keep it out of the way of the speaker, so that when we put the speaker back on, and then, I mean, you know, truth be told, I mean, it's just, you guys are just gonna have to, it's almost impossible to show this. I mean, now that I'm looking at this, it really damn near is impossible to show this. Okay, coming back here, boy, it's such a long, I don't even know if you guys can see, and it's kind of dark for me. And there's some guy out there who just seemingly entered a horn honking competition. So, putting the door handle shut with our thumb, and then our little hook here goes right in. It only goes in one way. Snaps right down. Then we just hook it back in these connectors like we took it out from, like so. Can't see super duper well, sorry. One up top, one there, and there. Now one of the trickier things that like sometimes gets overlooked, right down here, I'll show you guys this. This can come unhooked and your door won't work. So make sure that's keyed under there and locked and in place so that we're no issues when we're reinstalling those door panels. So now lastly, don't forget to feed the little lock wire up through here. So we got to plug that in. And then all we do is we take our lock, feed it through, line up the top, like so. And then my little trick here, I come along, actually you can just feel the door sit. It just seats itself. And then I use the palm of my hand. The cars are built so unbelievably well, you're not gonna have any issues with these X3s. They did a phenomenal job. And then at this point, we just reinstall the screws, snap the panels back on, we rock, we roll. And that really wraps it up. So as I had mentioned before, all 4 doors are done the same. The process is identical. And we're gonna wrap it up here, hop up on the center channel, get that rocking and rolling, and wrap up this install process. So we are tackling the center channel, and this process is identical across all the X3 models where a center channel is present. So plastic panel removal tool, super straightforward. We pop out the grill just as we did very carefully on the doors. We just start under this edge, lift it up, couldn't be more straightforward. Says the guy. Yeah, so you know, it's straightforward. You're just popping it up and going along. Good news, it should be tight. I love you guys actually seeing this, because sometimes, again, people just make stuff look like, look, it's real easy to split this atom. All right, so that reveals a super straightforward process whereby we remove 1, 2, 3, 4 Torx T20s. And again, we use our Torx T20 bit that we used on our door panel and our right angle driver. We set this to remove. So we're going to remove this out, and then we'll show you how to reinstall it when we put the new tweeter in and reinstall the new mid-range. All right, guys, so we're on our bench. Again, this is pre-prototype, so this is, I actually don't have all of the drivers here available to show you this, so we're just going to talk through it. Mid-range, our mid-range is going to drop right in. This one just kind of snaps out like so. Just really easy. Ours will just snap right back in. It drops in, couldn't be easier. It's all going to plug right back in, drop in the car. But I do want to kind of talk through the tweeter process. So, as you can see, BMW has glued this tweeter into the housing. We have included a little tube of adhesive with your Stage One because we're going to have to just pry this one out. And again, we'll use our right angle pick. And it's really just critical at this junction here where there's like all these boogers right here, a little dab here, a little dab here, a little dab here, and a little dab here. So it's pick this snot. Don't worry about this snot like on the inside. It's this blob, this blob, this blob, this nasty blob, and this blob. Just pry that out. The tweeter will just pop out. Same with this, just, and then with our tweeter, again, it's gonna snap right in. Just put a couple little dabs of the adhesive, plug this into the mid-range. This tucks right down into there, exactly like the factory one did. And then when you reinstall it, we'll just drop it right back down into the dashboard like the factory system. Bolt it right, make sure we plug it in, of course. And the blue connector off of the mid-range will plug into the blue connector in the dashboard. Drops right back in, 1, 2, 3, 4. The cover, put right back on top, push it right back down. Again, there's no sense in even covering that. You guys are beyond smart enough to know how to do that. We're just going to keep these a bit more concise and explanatory versus procedural. So again, Bavsound. Thanks for joining us. We are stoked to be able to give you guys with the X3, the Stage One love, the Ghost love. It's a transformative experience in the car. Have fun with it. Again, 10, 12 hours break-in time, real world listening before you're going super wide open on the throttle with the volume. Bass flat, treble flat for you HK guys. Bass trap, flat, treble flat. EQ, flat-ish. For those of you a little bit harder of hearing towards the upper frequencies, you could bump 5K, 10K. All DSP Logic 7 off. We want flat on our iPhones if we're using them as a source. EQ is off. We want a clean, undisturbed, unprocessed signal coming into the car out of the amplifier. So those are the tips. Rock and roll. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for joining us.